part of the allure to John. This separateness, this need to be alone. But it also scared him. She was vulnerable, too trusting, not careful enough. They became a couple instantly. They graduated, found jobs, settled into cities near each other. He worked at his father's insurance company. She worked in public relations. They commuted, saving, figuring it out, before they bought an affordable new house near Carrie's old hometown, a few towns away from John's family. It wasn't like they'd met and eloped and had an instant baby, but to Carrie, it had felt that immediate. She saw him in line and saw their future unspool in front of her. The difference between him and her other boyfriends, like Ethan, was immediately apparent. John was a man, and he would be a husband and a father, not a frightened little high school boy who hid in his books and acted brave but wasn't. John was actually brave to a fault, and loyal to a fault. He was different from other guys, and that was why he didn't trust them, why he occasionally followed Carrie to make sure nothing happened to her. And then she caught him, one night, walking back from a concert she'd gone to with Chelsea and Justin. There had been a rustling in the bushes, the dark green edges of the path oscillating more than a kicked-up night breeze could hope to move them. She stopped, took a step toward the movement. She heard his breathing, the ragged quality that presaged his raspy voice. The way she knew he was there, thinking of something to say. "John," she said. He took one step to the right, revealing himself, a half slice of his features. Everything she wanted to say, meant to say, the words bobbed in her mouth, drowning. She couldn't speak. The sight of his dark hair and eyes in the deep cobalt night. Even his tanned skin and his navy shirt looked of the woods, of the path. He was someone who belonged there, waiting only for her. She had reached for him, for that was what he was waiting for, after all, evidence of her and her love. The smell of him, the dark, wild taste of something that had turned, made her weak in the knees. "I'll meet you later," she'd called out to her friends, as simply as if she'd seen another path, a better one, and taken it. Remembering that now, she leaned into John's strong frame as they looked out the living room window, listening to Nolan berating his beat officer on their front walk, his hands slicing into the air for emphasis. "You had one job, and failed. You don't go out for coffee, you don't leave for a sandwich, you don't fiddle on your fucking phone, you watch. When you're on 24-hour watch, you watch, goddammit." The man's face, young, with a night's worth of blonde beard appearing, was turning ever redder with shame and regret as he murmured something about how he didn't think he'd fallen asleep, but he supposed he might have checked his text messages. Would he lose his job? Carrie disentangled herself from John, ran to the door, flung it open. "Stop it!" The men turned to her in unison. Nolan's face twisted with annoyance at this crazy woman interrupting him, and maybe, just maybe, pissed off because he was caught doing in public what usually happened in private, behaving cruelly toward another cop. Something he didn't want his wife or his children or anyone but another cop to know about him. And the uniformed cop, guilty and grateful at the same time, his chin quivering with the mixture. "Stop?" Nolan repeated, as if dumbfounded that she'd said it, and also, good Lord, that he'd obeyed. A woman trying to tell him how to do his job? Is this where the expression beat cop came from? Because you beat up other cops? "Carrie," John cried. "Leave me alone, okay? It's not his fault," she said. "Ma'am," the officer said quietly, "I'm afraid it might be my—" "You don't have to apologize to me, to us, or to him. You did the best you could. You're human. You're human, for God's sake." Nolan's eyes looked over her head, seeking John's, finding them, and then a slight raise of his brow. "Please get a hold of your wife and go back inside, Mr. Morgan," Nolan said with a long exhale. Carrie turned around. John's face was lined with concern. It was like seeing him